Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is a dumb fuck. Even if he's 500 years old, he's not 500 years smarter. He's a dumb fuck. He has contributed nothing to humanity. Nothing. Noam Chomsky has contributed nothing to humanity. If Noam Chomsky was not born, nothing would be lost. Much would be gained. Much would be gained. For example, if Noam Chomsky was never born, then Vaush would not be telling 10,000 people that the Bolsheviks had a coup where they lost the election, so they got mad and took over in a coup. They wouldn't say, no one would, that meme would not exist if it wasn't for Chomsky. All Chomsky's done is spread misinformation and harm the left and cuck the left. All he has done is cuck the left. That's all fucking Chomsky has done. He's cucked the left. That's true, though. And this guy literally fucking believes that the Constituent Assembly was dissolved because the Bolsheviks lost. And he literally thinks that. That's how illiterate these... That's what Chomsky's teaching these people. It's teaching them to be historically illiterate. He literally thinks the reason the Constituent Assembly was dissolved was because the Bolsheviks lost the election. Even though by that time it was fucking irrelevant anyway. Because he doesn't know anything about fucking history. Chomsky is the reason we have Vaush. Chomsky is the reason we have Hassan. He's the reason we have BreadTube. He's the reason we have the American left that we do. Chomsky once said, forced to vote was the equivalent of little kids asking for cookies, even though they know they're not going to get cookies. Yeah, exactly. So you basically want to make UKIP, but for muscular Marxists? Chomsky stole his work, Manufacturing Consent, from Parenti's book, Inventing Reality. Yeah, so what this is what happened. The MIT State Department took Parenti's powerful book and pussified it and released it in a pussified, sanitized way so that Parenti's book wouldn't get popular. It's like saying authoritarianism exists because of Stalin. And this guy thinks authoritarianism exists. As if every country on earth is not authoritarian. Including anarchist Catalonia, where we put people in labor camps, but we call them liberation. Liberation farms. Liberation. Freedom. They just call it a different name. It's the same shit. Anarchists, when anarchists have power, they literally just do the same shit, but worse. They're the worst fascist dictators, but they just call it something different. That's all they do. That's all they do. Some are more authoritarian than others, you dumb fuck. That's not true. Some have to exercise their authority more than others. That's the difference. No, you don't understand. You're blaming Chomsky for BreadTube. It's like saying authoritarianism exists because of Stalin. I don't have a problem with Stalin or authoritarianism. I'm a Stalinist. What a dumb example. I'm an authoritarian Stalinist. I believe the authority of my cock over yours because mine's bigger. It's just bigger. It's just bigger. Debate me, bitch. Debate me. Debate me. Then go. You have to go through the protocol that I just fucking instituted hours ago because a dumb fuck like you came on and started saying slurs. So you have to go through the protocol now. So you can join the Discord and you can talk to my community, and if they think you're worth a piece of shit, then you can come on and debate me.
Oh my god, like, I can't believe this. It's like, uh, authoritarianism is like when Noam Chomsky, my,
Shut the fuck up. What is up with this Chomsky shit, man? Where does that come from? Why do people like Noam Chomsky? He doesn't say anything smart. He don't say nothing smart. They just want an old guy that's like harmless, and it makes them feel like, oh, we're not so bad. The left isn't so bad after all. It ain't that bad after all. It's really normal. We're normal. He's accessible? No, it's I'll tell you the fucking reason. He's a legitimacy, you know? He makes people feel comfy. And I get it, because people don't want crazy, crusty anarchists being like, they don't want those type of people to represent them. So they look at a normal guy like Chomsky, who's got legitimacy, and they're just like, oh, actually, this is not that bad. You can disagree on it instead, but he was written more on foreign policy and how the world works. Yeah, and it's all shit. It's stolen from Michael Parenti. Yeah, he's like the left's Jordan Peterson. He's knowledgeable in linguistics. No, he's not. All his linguistics he pulled out of his ass, and he contributed to the revival of scientific racism. Good job, Chomsky! You got universal language. It's never been proven, but he believes it anyway. And so Chomsky has this idea called universal language. And what Chomsky is telling people is that there's a universal language encoded in our brain, and we all have it, and it's universal. Universal grammar. There's a universal grammar and language in our brain, and it's in our brain. He's never proved it. He's never showed us, okay, where is it in the brain? He's never showed us anything, but he just says that it's self-evidently true. That's what how is that racist? I'll tell you why. Because humans are physiologically different, so it and we also have different languages. So it naturally follows that Chomsky's going to attribute the differences you see across languages and cultures to what's in our brain and what's in our physiological genetics. That's why. I'm not even joking about this, by the way. Like, I'm not just the one saying this. Like, for example, Steven Pinker cites Noam Chomsky as his formative influence. Steven fucking Pinker! Yeah, the Piraha disprove it. The Piraha do disprove it, yeah. Limerick, I hate you for writing that paragraph and making me fucking read it and waste my time. Limerick, do you think I'm not educated on this topic? Why do you insult me writing this paragraph? You don't think I've spent all my time reading about this bullshit fucking 5 years ago? Babies can distinguish language sounds from non-language sounds right after being born. Has nothing to do with innate universal grammar. A Lacanian could explain that better. The fact that language does not seem directly correlated with other skills. People can have lots of developmental issues, be at math. Pretty much everyone learns how to speak language if they're exposed to it. Yeah, yet again, does not prove there's a universal grammar. That's not an argument in favor of universal grammar whatsoever. The fact that all languages seem to have universals. Things that are common among languages. Yeah, but you can't isolate any. Every time you try to isolate some, you end up getting an unworking, arbitrary abstraction, or you end up being disproven by marginal cases like the Piraha tribe. So stop fucking writing me paragraphs.
Your beliefs are disgusting, but I'm glad you decided not to be a bitch, baby. Pussing out and banning me. That's props.
Yeah, but you're still very stupid, and I pray for you. All I could do is pray for you. That's the only thing I could do. Yeah. Every single language is unique. More than 700 unique languages that have zero connections to each other. No historians or anthropologists can explain this phenomenon. Yeah. Okay. The burden is on Chomsky is to disprove the ontological argument. That instead of there being a universal language encoded in our brain, there's a common ontological reality that is the object of language, that gives rise to language. Just beginning from the pure difference, ontological difference, you can have language. That's Lacan's point. Just beginning from that, you can have language. And the fact that languages are going to have shit in common is not because there's a secret code for each and every language, but because it follows from that ontological difference. Yeah, it's kind of like that. All similarities between language with no connections are because they're all describing the same human experience. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's not exactly it, but that's more or less what it's like. They're all describing the same thing, the same object. Like, there is no use for the notion of universal grammar. It has no use. There's no practical use for it. No one needs it. We don't need it. If we, let's say we said universal grammar is bullshit and I'm going to wipe my ass with it, throw it on the garbage. What would happen? What would we lose?